we'll start with that matchup because I do want to go throughout the bracket. Arizona State and Utah. Do you think there is a shot, Shane, that we see Arizona State pull it out and find a way to get to Thursday?
Yes, for sure. There's definitely a chance to beat Utah. 100%. Utah's been struggling, dude. Utah, let me see this. I want to get the stats right. So in their game against, sorry, I should have been more prepared for this. In their game against Oregon State, Brandon Carlson had 40 points and 7 rebounds in 36 minutes, and they lost 92-85 to Oregon State.
Oregon State, not a good basketball
They followed
team.
that up with a loss to Oregon.
1 point, not too bad.
So they're back, but they're still backing into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Utah's
And then they
stretch
got-
of games, they have won just as many least impressive games as Arizona State.
Well, in their last 5 games, they have 2 wins, and their 2 wins are over Stanford and Cal.
Yeah.
They got blown out by Colorado. They wasted a great game by Brandon Carlson against Oregon State, and they lost a close one against Oregon.
Even before that, you look at the 1-point win over UCLA, and then prior to that, 3 straight losses: Arizona State, and USC.
Yeah, Carlson also didn't play against Oregon. That's right, Tony.
And all their good wins.
No, he did.
are
Yeah,
like
no, he did.
1 or 2 points.
He did play.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Like they beat Oregon earlier in the year. That was a 3-point win. They beat Colorado. That was a 5-point win. UCLA, when they had kind of started to turn around, not be just bottom of the conference stinkers.
Carlson didn't
1-point
play
win
against ASU last time.
against
though.
ASU. Okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Their best win of the season was all the way back when they played BYU. And they beat BYU by 4 points. Like, none of their impressive wins have been in convincing fashion, except for maybe Washington State. But when you see an 80-58 score, you think that's more of an anomaly than a representation of who a team actually is.
Yeah.
And I mean, they started off really good, like really good. I'm pretty sure they were like 10-2 at some point.
Well, they were also predicted to be the second best team in the conference.
Yeah.
At the
And
start
now
of
they're
the year.
9-11 in conference, 18-13 overall. And like you said, like they're backing into the tournament. But I also feel like the Jose Perez thing, where you're like, you know, they might play better because they're without him. They might be more connected. It might be the other way. Guys might just be like, I'm done. Like, guys are quitting on our team. We don't like maybe the brand of basketball that we're playing. Like, and then Utah comes in and goes, okay, we lost to this team before. We're fully healthy now, and arguably their best player just quit. Let's not get embarrassed. Let's handle business.
It's going to be an interesting game. Look, I feel like with Carlson playing, he's a 7-footer. Like, that doesn't bode well for Arizona State. We know that they they just don't have size, man.
but he doesn't play with size.
no,
Neither does
but
their 7-footer.
He likes to rebound and
nobody on Arizona State
crash
likes
the
to do
glass.
that.
Yeah, I know. He likes to crash the glass, but other than that, I mean, I don't know. He's not like the most imposing.
I mean, they're not like the scariest team. I mean, as far as first round matchups go for a team that's in ASU's position, because like you were never going to draw an Oregon State, right? Like
No,
that
they
just
were
like
never
that just
good enough for
wasn't
that.
going to happen. Like Utah is maybe besides Cal.
It's funny because they could have drawn like an Oregon State and a USC if they would have beaten the LA schools because of the shit show that was the middle of that Pac-12 shit sandwich.
Oh, big time.
They could have absolutely found a way to draw one of those other teams. Short Bus bringing up, can we please shout out wrestling and swim for getting the trophy? Yeah, we will absolutely get to that at a certain point. Wrestling, swim and dive, phenomenal weekends. We are officially we've always been a swim and dive school, just so everybody
No,
understands that. No, we're not.
we're a
not.
triathlon school.
We are a
triathlon
triathlon school.
We are a triathlon school. But look, it really is going to be this Pac-12 tournament has the potential to be one of the strangest ones, I think, yet, just
The
because
Pac-12 is so bad.
it is so bad. And Arizona State finished 11th.
Let's go down the matchups. Oregon State and UCLA. Ass versus half an ass.
Which ass are you going with?
I'm going with, dude.
Loki, Oregon State's tempting.
UCLA also, it's been pretty bad. They rattle off a ton of wins and then they just
They forgot to play
collapsed.
basketball again.
Stinky against Fart. Stanford against Cal. Actually, well, no, Cal, I can't defend you anymore. Cal, you've been terrible.
They have been.
They can't score anymore. Stanford kind of rattling off some wins, but that game is like I would rather watch insert Merrimack against whoever.
Merrimack.
I would rather watch that anyway. USC and Washington's gonna be fun, but because USC, we'll get to them later. They're terrifying right now, and Washington coming off a good win against Washington State, and then okay to end of the season. And then you have obviously ASU and Utah. Like no team is good.
No, there
Nope.
isn't. And even you look at the teams that have the 4 byes, Arizona, Oregon, Washington State, and Colorado, they all have their own flaws as well. I think outside of maybe Arizona, like there really isn't.
Oregon's not a 4 seed.
No.
Washington State's the weirdest team in college basketball.
True. Yeah.
Like no, genuinely, like they're bizarre. They don't really do anything great. Like
I've never believed in them this season.
You know what they are? They're who's the anomaly in the Big 12 that I was talking about? Oh, they're West Virginia football from last year.
Oh, nine of our West Virginia football.
Like they you look at their stats, you're like, how are they winning games? And then you watch them. I mean, they have some fun players. Like I do like watching them play, but it's just like from a numbers perspective, you're like, I don't know how you're winning games.
I'm absolutely I'm shocked. If you would have told me like when we started Pac-12 play that Washington State would be the second best team in the conference, I would have called you nuts.
Well, Washington State not only like they got some guys in the portal, but not highly touted guys. They lost probably their best player in DJ Rodman to USC. Like they're weird.
Who would you say is the most the team that if you are one of the other 11
USC
is the one team you don't want to see?
No.
Why?
Because they have the most talent that hasn't been put together yet, and they finally started to put it together.
Yeah,
and I know
games.
you can say whatever you want about the U of A game. U of A didn't care. They still wanted to win that game.
Yeah,
like they played hard. USC is a team that if any given night their top 3 guys can. I mean, Isaiah Collier was hurt half the season. Like and he's been so good.
And Boogie Ellis is always a problem.
Yeah, Boogie Ellis is always a problem. You know, Bronny James scores 5 points, and then that's what you see in the tabloids. But like the actual guys that make this bus run have been awesome.
Yeah.
But according to LeBron, he's better than some guys in the league. So watch out for that.
But don't put pressure on him.
Yeah, don't put pressure on him.
Nah, don't name your kid LeBron James Jr. and, expect things from him.
No, look, USC, they've won 4 of their last 5. Their only loss was a 3-point loss to Washington State, who we know is the 2nd seed. Like this is a team in USC, I think to your point, Shane, that like the talent has always been there. But it's just been a matter of when and if they're going to figure it out. They've started to figure out just how to play as a team lately. I agree with you. I think Washington's definitely in for it, especially in that first round. Eric, for you, outside of USC, is there another team that maybe, one of the other 11 should fear ahead of the Pac-12 tournament?
Fear? No. But I would say that Oregon State has been a team all year that as
Stop it.
No, listen. Listen, as bad as they have been in many moments,
they've been horrendous.
They have also played like a fearless style of basketball.
Yeah.
And you saw like they beat U of A. Like they have good wins under their belt, and this conference is so stinky that I can smell it from here. That I would not be surprised if Oregon State beat UCLA. Like UCLA, I'm not walking in that game saying they are 100% going to win. And then Oregon will probably beat Oregon State. But like I don't see Stanford and Cal and go, ooh. I don't look at like USC and Washington, sure. But even Utah, like Utah doesn't scare me either. It's just like I'm very low on ASU as well. Like, I think ASU lumps in there as well. So like it's just
I feel like ASU is so far outside of that box. I feel like for me, if there's a team that you don't want to see, and unfortunately, if Arizona State were to win on Wednesday and beat Utah, then they get Colorado. Colorado coming off their best season in Pac-12 history. They rattled off 6 straight dubs, win over USC, win over Utah, win over Cal, win over Stanford, win over Oregon, win over Oregon State. They've got the pieces to do it. KJ Simpson's a baller. Tristan Da Silva has been playing in the Pac-12 for what feels like 40 years at this point.
Good job.
You got your boy. What's the TCU transfer? Shane?
Eddie Lampkin.
Eddie Lampkin.
Eddie Pumpkin.
He's a giant.
Eddie Pumps. E Pumpy.
He's literally like, dude's torso is the size of this giant ass coffee table in front of us. Like he is an absolute unit. He could play nose tackle, and he is the starting center for the Colorado Buffs. So I think that is the team that for me, you get to the Pac-12 tournament, they're hot. They've got a good coach. They've got the shooters. They've got the size. I think that Colorado probably presents the biggest challenge to Arizona if you're talking about a Pac-12 title game.
Well, 100%. I mean, if I had to put money on it, I would assume that those two make it to the finals. And I mean, Washington State, like I almost feel bad for how much I've doubted them. Like they have continuously like won throughout the year, and I have never like fully bought in. I've never been like, you know what? That's a team that I believe in. That's a team that I think can actually like do the classic, make some noise. Like I don't. But at the end of the day, like you got to respect the record. And overall, the only like legitimately great team in this conference is the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And everybody else is a lot closer to each other, I think, than they are the 1 seed. But like you said, even Arizona has their flaws.
Yeah.
So man, I don't know. This is maybe the least excited I've been about a Pac-12 tournament in quite some time.
This is why it's going to be so much more exciting, is because you've got a bunch of teams that aren't very good.
But did you just hear the sentence that you just said?
Yeah. And guess what? One of them's going to get to play Arizona, and they've had their fair share of question mark moments at this point this season.
Against teams that they shouldn't have
USC.
against, yeah.
They lost to Stanford by 18. They lost to Washington State. Like they've got their fair share of issues. Like it's going to be a unique Pac-12 tournament. And I think, if you were going to get in the final year of the Pac-12, if you were going to get either a, complete, pristine, there's 5, 6, 7 teams headed to the tourney, or you're just going to get one team in the tourney and you've got 11 just trolls and bums playing basketball, I almost would rather have the trolls and the bums in the final year of the Pac-12.
It's just a bunch of mid. And
it's a great way to send off the Pac-12 because that's what it's been.
It's a fitting way to send off Pac-12 basketball for sure. But I mean, to be fair, with Washington State, like they have beat Arizona twice this year.
They have.
And now granted, a combined 6 points in both games.
And the last time they beat them, they had to get an and one corner 3 to fall.
But that's the thing, is like they did still beat them. So they would probably go into that game with more confidence than any other team on here, because you're like, we've already beat them twice. So, but then U of A would look at them and have a little bit more motivation.
I want to see an Arizona. Well, I would obviously love to see an ASU Arizona final. But if that doesn't happen, I would love to see an Arizona Colorado final.
I think that's what we're
so I could go to Vegas and party with RK and DNVR. It'd be fun. That's selfish.
It is what it is. You're allowed to be selfish.
Speaking of
up and leave.
Speaking of selfish, Bo just came in here, shot me the eyes, and then texted me Patrick Queen, and I'm like,
what happened?
Nothing yet. He's supposed to sign with the Seahawks, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Is he supposed to sign with the Seahawks?
Yeah, because Mike McDonald. Like that's what a bunch of people are saying, but I haven't seen anything official.
Well,
it's really,
I guess we'll see.
It's kind of weird to shoot you the look.
Yeah,
when nothing
I thought
is
he was
actually
shooting me the look
happening.
because the Cardinals signed Bilal Nichols.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. FYF sports debates. GCU might be the best team in Arizona for real.
Bo, that's a fake Adam Schefter, you idiot.
Oh my gosh. Like the Pac-12 tournament is certainly going to be interesting. We will have some post-game shows as the week carries on.